Hi everyone again. My name is Alex. I'm a lead of the Business Central department. I'm working with Dynamics NAV and Business Central for more than 20 years. And today we will talk about migration topic. First of all, let me briefly introduce the company N.Progression. We are an international company. I'm personally working in this company for more than 20 years. And for this period of time, we have done more than 50 migration projects. We are working worldwide and made projects in more than 15 countries. During this webinar, I'll share our experience and next, I give you a brief introduction why our customers actually move from NAV, Dynamics NAV, to the Business Central. First reason it's missing updates and especially security updates. For some customers, it's mandatory to have functional updates and to have security updates. Next topic, it's cloud benefits. When you use cloud, again, you can use flexible infrastructure. You can scale in your business worldwide and have some other benefits. Reduce costs for the infrastructure, for example. Also, if you use the Business Central, you can use a different business application for your ERP. On Microsoft App Source, available more than 5,000 App Source apps, and you can just install and use it in your ERP. Without additional development. And cost efficiency, when you use cloud infrastructure, that helps customers to reduce the cost for the infrastructure. But main drivers for the migration. And let's go to our case, which I will describe today. I will talk about one big migration project, and the customer, it's international company. We have 15 legal entities throughout the world. We have 350 end users in the system, and we use the system for 14 years, and this system was hardly customized. So in the system, we had 4,000 customized objects. And the main drivers of the migration was actually security requirements because NAV was not longer supported, and we decided to move to the new version. Other requirements was that during this migration project, we should reduce the workload on the end users, reduce disruption of the main business, no data loss, and we was needed to migrate the current functionality as it is without some feature redesign, so we just as it is. We conducted this project for 9 months, and yes, I just discover how we did it. So first of all, migration milestones. Which stages we had? It's kind of typical set of the stages: diagnostic, design and planning, code migration, data migration, UAT, and deployment. Let's, on the further slides, go through these stages, and I'll give you more details on how we conduct all the stages. So first, that diagnostic stage, and the key idea here is that we need to identify scope, what we actually need to migrate from the current system to the new one. The issue is that companies usually have lack of documentation. Users don't understand fully the business processes, and the first question is to understand which functionality dependency we need to migrate and how. We had one big issue. For example, in our case, we had 500 reports and 350 users. And the first question, which users used which reports? If we will investigate this question standard way, we will need to conduct some interviews with end users, pick up all the data, and based on this information, prepare the scope of the migration. Instead of that, we can use user activity tracker in the system. We turn on this user activity tracker, and based on this information, prepare a report, which users, which reports was used, and this is how we automatically identify scope of the report migration and also identify the end users which responsible for the testing of particular reports. And we do that actually automatically without involving users to the process. And yes, it's significantly reduce the workload on end users and on our team also. But that's not all. We have big customization, and the question is how we can actually identify all the features which was implemented in NAV. And here we have a set of tools which help to automate this process. Let me briefly show you how it may work. Let's open portal. So we have a portal which helps to automate the whole process of migration. We have here different stages: initiation, analysis, design, development, and so forth. On initiation stage, we just upload objects from existing NAV system, and the system analyze all these objects, find all the dependencies, find all the context which we need for the further analysis of the existing situation in the database. Based on the findings, we can prepare custom report, which looks like feature list report. What is the key benefit of this report? Using our tool, using AI agents, we can actually do code review of the current database, and based on this code review, we can prepare a feature list report. And here you can see the feature list report. This is a long list, and system automatically break down all the customization by different features. For example, we can see here one feature, it's finance, that's e-invoicing, and you can see here all the details related to this particular feature: e-invoicing, posted sales credit memos, export process, and so on and so forth. So also, we can see in this report some dependencies. Dependencies, it's crucial because you need to understand from which modification this feature is dependent. And you need to, first of all, you need to migrate this modification and only then this particular feature. And during code review, system can identify all the dependencies automatically. Also, a system can identify all the external libraries which used in NAV and which not longer support. And you can see that different features can use different not supported components. And actually, system can estimate how difficult it will be to migrate from the NAV to BC. The full list of external libraries which not supported presented on the separate list. You can see here different strategies, different components of these libraries. For example, we can see here some Excel libraries. We can see here some integration components. components, and also we can see which features use these particular components. And that helps us to plan the migration, to find all the problems which these components when we migrate to the Business Central. Additionally, as I told you, dependencies, it's very important. In this demo database, we have big number of the customizations, big number of modifications, is almost 1,000. And the question is how to plan all these activities. And the system can build dependencies list, so it can break all the customization by different waves and show you how you can migrate all your customization by different waves. For example, in our case, we had 10 waves. In each wave, we have a list of independent modification, which can be done in parallel. But we can start wave 2 only when we finished the wave 1. And yes, this information helps to plan all the migrations when you have lots of customization. It helps much. So that's the case how you can plan all your development activities. Next, it's important to know which functional areas was redesigned in Business Central. For example, in our case, customer used the standard functionality of the assembly BOM in Dynamics NAV, plus we had their own customization. But when we compare this functionality between NAV and BC, we see some discrepancies. We see that functionality has changed. And on this level, we decided on how we need to proceed. Should we move current customization to the Business Central, or we just need to adapt current processes to the standard functionality. In our case, we just choose to adapt current processes to the standard functionality, and this is how we reduce the scope of the migration, but we was needed to put more time on discovery with users, on the trainings, and so forth. But based on this information, you can plan, identify, and plan all these activities. Next issue, when you work with migration from old version to the new one, it's extension of the existing fields. For example, here we see a general journal line. In this journal, we see some field document number, and it was exceeded from 20 symbols to the 30. And that's issue because you're just unable to exceed fields in standard functionality of the BC. If you want to use extended field, you just need to duplicate this field and redefine all the use of this field in related objects. For example, this is a field used in set of code units, pages, reports, and if you actually want to exceed this field, you actually need to create new reports which are related with this extended field. You just need to know about all these discrepancies. You need to properly plan all these activities, and based on this report, you can actually quickly understand which fields was exceeded, how much, what the related objects, and what are you going to do with these discrepancies. So this is one example of which document we can actually prepare based on the code review, but it's not only one document. We can also create, for example, test cases, automatically generate test cases based on the current functionality. For example, this one. I open this document here. This document was automatically generated by our solution. And what we can see here, with this case related to the sent invoice process, you can see all the identifiers here. You can see all the dependencies from which customization depends this particular feature. You can see descriptions, the whole process. You can see all configurations which you need done in the system. For example, on company information, you need to specify IP keys. You need to specify other mandatory fields. You need to configure some master data in order to create your invoice in the system. And you can also see the test scenarios. For example, we want to export your invoice. So we need to open a proper page. We need to conduct some action here. We receive some confirmation notification. When we confirm, we can check some changes on the page. Invoice sent yes, and some additional data will populate it. Then we can download this file. We can see the name of the file. We can validate all data here. Then you can upload it to the government portal, and then you can receive status, and so on and so forth. So here you can see the whole steps of the tests, and benefit is that it's actually automatically created. You don't need to pay time to create all these documents. Negative tests which takes place, some permissions which needed in order to proceed all these processes. So that's a document which you can adjust as you wish. And based on this document, we can actually create automated unit cases. So it's a good idea to use unit test cases when you migrate to the BC, or when you just use your BC in production. So based on this document, we can automatically create unit tests. Next document which I wanted to show you, that's technical specifications. So it's a detailed document which describe all the features of this particular documentation of this particular modification in very details. For example, we have here a description of data structure, UI modification, a description of the business process, and yes, we have a very detailed document. Here you can see all the related features to this particular functionality. You can see all settings which you need done in each tables. You can see other fields which participate in this process on the VAT posting setup and other related tables, master data, some custom tables which was used for the configuration, so transactional data, all the related fields. This is a very detailed documentation and which describe the whole process. For example, you can see a page with posted invoice and all actions which should be added to this page. All actions on all pages. Also, we see here a business process flow. For example, when we send invoice in the posted sales invoice, we see a list of controls or validations, confirmation first, then system conduct some checks and create some messages if we miss some data. And yes, it's a very detailed document. Why you need this document? Data, good documentation is always a good idea. Based on this documentation, you, for example, can build AI agent for the first line of support, or use AI agents for the further development, some features. Documentation is good. It's can help to automate many processes. So let's go back to the presentation. So we used this set of the tools, and this is how we actually identify the scope of the migration. and some gaps between NAV and BC. That helps us to reduce the timeline and costs for the diagnostic and analysis stage from 2 months to actually 2 weeks, because all of this was done automatically, and we was just needed to confirm all these findings with end users. So when we talk about design and architecture, we need to, when we have a list of the features, we need to define which features we need to migrate to the BC, which not, which functionality we need to adapt to the standard functionality, which we need to migrate to some IC solutions. So we can work with feature list with users, or we can, as I told you, turn on user activity tracker and identify all the features in used by users. That was also an option, but in our case, we just manually verify all the features which we need to move, and this is how we reduced the scope and adapted to the some ICs and standard functionality of the BC. When we talk about architecture, client used cloud, so-called cloud native architecture. That means that you can use on-premise, but based on the Azure infrastructure. We have some requirements to use Azure infrastructure, where we configured BC server architecture. We used Azure Scale database for the storage private endpoints, Microsoft Entra ID, and realized some integration interfaces from the cloud with on-premise system. So how it looks, overall picture you can see on this screen. So we draw target architecture and agreed it with security team of the customer. We help to configure all these Azure resources. Yes, I'm not going too deep in some details right now, but if you have some questions, we can discuss it in a separate meeting. Next point, when we define the scope and agree on how we need to migrate it, next step is the code migration itself. We have tools which help to migrate code automatically, and using these tools, we can migrate near 60% of all customization, but not all objects can be migrated automatically. And here, of course, we need to have senior developers who will validate and move the last functionality from the NAV to BC. Okay, data migration. Data migration, it's a crucial topic. We had a very big database. And the first action which we need done here, it's automatically, we have a tool which can automatically map existing fields in Dynamics NAV with the fields in the Business Central. In this process, system finds some gaps, and with the customer, we need to identify how we need to map the existing fields to the new fields in BC, which functionality we're going to use and how. So that works. System creates some report with some questions, and based on these questions, we need to conduct all the mapping between two systems. We, during the migration, can conduct all the data validation processes. So we can conduct automatic cleaning. If you, for example, need to reduce some duplicates or just remove some cards from the process, we can include it to the scope. Actually, we had 3 waves of migration. A test migration, that's for our internal test purpose. UAT migration, when we prepare a UAT environment for the user accounting testing. And in this environment, we need to have the full data set, and we need to have full customization for the good testing. And third wave, it's production migration. So we had 3 waves, and on each wave we conduct quality assurance. We migrate data to the 2 sources. To the production, we migrate initial balances, but we have a second database. It was called BC Archive database, and in this database, we migrated all the historical data. So that was the scope of the migration. When we're talking about data migration, it's very important to talk about timing. All set of the data we split in 2 parts. The first part, it's data which are crucial for the operation processes. And in the first wave, we migrated only crucial data. This takes near 4 hours. So disruption in the business was near 4 hours. After 4 hours, business can conduct their operations. Further data migration took near 2 days. Lots of data, and yes, we just need to wait 2 days in order to migrate all the data. Nevertheless, the whole process of migration was fully automated. No one need to press any buttons. And this is how we reduce the time as much as we can. So here's overview of the architecture of data migration. We used different Azure services for the data migration. For example, we used Microsoft Data Migration Assistant. It compared 2 databases, equal databases, find some discrepancies, and eliminate all these discrepancies. Also, we used the Azure Data Migration Services in order to transfer data from the on-premise SQL database to the Azure SQL database. Azure Data Factory established some security connector here. So it's, again, high-level overview. I am not going to give more details here, but if you have some questions, we can arrange separate meeting and discuss all the open topics if you want. So go live. Now UAT testing. As I told, UAT, it's an environment where we need to upload all the data. As for the production, we need to deploy all the modification, and yes, users need to have time to properly test it. But all our quality assurance, I mean internal testing, reduce the number of incidents during the testing by 86%. It means that we detect 86% of all incidents during UAT stage. Users catch only 4%. So key features, key actions during testing approach. During testing, we need to be focused only on interface part because functionality of both systems is very similar, and users can easily adapt. So we need just talk about new interface, web interface, and if you redesign some processes, adapt it to the standard functionality, or use some ICE, you of course need to conduct some additional trainings regarding these topics. Go live process was fully automated. We just launch it and wait when it finished. I told about data migration, production environment preparation, and so forth. So it was fully automated, and this is how we reduce the timing on this stage. So results. We meet 80% of the initial budget. Discrepancies was related to the adoption of the new business processes, to the ISV, to the standard functionality. Because it takes time, lots of users, and yes, we need to discuss all these issues with and users and key users. Work reduction. If we will compare workload with a typical project without automation, so And when you use automation, we reduce the workload on our team and on the end users by 30%. We reduced the level of customization by 40%, quite much. And finally, after go-live stabilization, the number of incidents was reduced from 200 to 50 per month, unexpectedly. Why migration to the Business Central from NAV? It's a good choice because functionality is quite similar between two systems, and adoption for the end users is going easy. Minimal cost if you migrate to the BC, so we can automate majority of the processes and workload and end users risks. Pricing will reduce dramatically. As data model similar, we can migrate all the data without difficult adaptation. That's a benefit. And BC, it's actively development platform. It uses AI assistant. It updates two times per year. And on AppSource, you can use different BizApps without any further development. So that's it for now. Thank you very much. If you have some details questions, if you have to have some, I don't know, reference call with the customer, please contact me. We arrange all these meetings. And now, if you have some questions, please ask me.